Hello, friends, and welcome to REL 1 and 2A div reviews. SteakDora the Explorers, whichever. But this is week 6.
You just gotta lean into it. Every week you're like, or whatever we are, I don't know. We're just SteakDora.
Yeah, but I think or whatever is part of it now. Like, it's part of the intro. Like, we talked about vocal patterns before. Like, I think the or whatever is now part of the title in my mind. But one announcement, you may notice that the channel is now twitch.tv/Steakmittens instead of Steakmittens TV. Somebody had the Steakmittens username, and you can request to change your username like once every 6 months on Twitch. And the person who had mine finally was AFK or not active long enough for them to have their name removed from them. So I was able to scoop that up, and I have changed it. We've gotten rid of the dumb little TV at the end. Shouldn't change anything about follows or what have you, but if you have like the page bookmarked or something, you might need to change your bookmark. And just because it'll now be /Steakmittens instead of Steakmittens TV. But that is all of the like preamble, I guess. This is going to be a team review week instead of a match review week. It is week 6, I believe I said. Yes, week 6.
It is.
And we will take a look at what has occurred. There have certainly been some results in the div this week, in both divs this week, mine included. So shall we look at things?
Yeah.
Boop. Okay, so right away we can look at the results from last week, week 6 in Div 1, shall we? So we have Not an Anime Sports Team versus the Bad Apples.
Delf versus. Oh no, wait. Oh, sorry. We're in Div 1.
Yes.
Delf versus High Elves. We predict the High Elves would win, and
Yeah, 3-2, and I think we predicted High Elves because of things like one turner and stupid stat up elves. And
I mean, we predicted it entirely on the back of still not Megalobox, who died this game. So yeah, that strength 4 blitzer dead.
Well, that's fun.
Rip RJXL's team.
Yeah, well, that's a thing. I mean, yeah, 25% ball possession with 3 touchdowns. That's one turner things, or at least very short touchdowns.
He doesn't have a one turn, I don't think. He's just got a team.
Very, very short touchdowns, like 2 turn, 2 turn, 3 turn, whatever. Whereas
he's got to move a 9 piece. It's not a one turner, but it is not like a natural one.
Yeah, and whereas the Dark Elves had to do a bit more slow things.
Yep. And then Necro versus Chorfs.
By Chorfs you mean Orcs?
Shit, we did the Div 2A predictions first, so I keep like looking at those, and the first team is right, but the second team is wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, so Orcs versus Necro. I predicted the Necro would win, and you predicted the Orcs, and the Orcs.
They did. 2-1. Canadian Cheddar grabbing the MVP to go to 280 SPP. Interestingly enough, if they get to like 1,000 SPP, they get another level, even though they're not supposed to, as we saw in some weird things. Like Major Bright was posting about it.
Wait, what? Is it a bug?
Yeah, Major Bright was posting about it in like one of the Discords somewhere. Like, there's one player in some other league that like managed to get to 1,000 SPP, and it put them at level 8.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. But anyway, that's not really relevant. Let's see. Cheese had the ball for most of the game. 42 blocks versus 29. 6 injuries and 7 KOs. The Orcs pummeled them.
But would you like to guess Thick, Rich, and Creamy's regeneration rate?
100%?
Yep.
Nice. All of them saved. But still, like that's good enough to, even if they come back, they're off for the half. So getting a removal is enough to win you the half.
Yeah, and the KOs were serious. Like, I mean, I don't think he had a team most of the time, even though they regen.
Yeah, so no permanent damage, but probably not a whole lot of actual hope for Thick, Rich, and Creamy to accomplish much there. It seems. You had Tessa and Rolling Red, the Fogmire Fen Beasts. And what did we predict here?
The Chaos, and the Chaos would win. The Chaos did win, I should say.
They certainly did.
Equal armor breaks on both sides. The Mino taking... No, that's just... He's already edge broken.
The Mino picked up MVP, so he's like... I say almost. He's still like, slightly less than 100 SP
like
way away.
SPP
but like, seeing a big guy at 93 SPP, like about to break the 100 SPP mark, is pretty impressive. It's kind of cool.
Claw Mighty Blow block pieces will do that. Frenzy, even.
That's true.
At that point, it's a huge boon. So
yeah, 46 blocks versus 36.
Same breaks. Thessa's removal rate was a bit better. Certainly.
9 KOs and 3 casualties sustained for the lizards. Yeah. Considering the lizards are definitely below a full team, that's 12 removals on a likely 11 or 12 player team after inducements. And
they made 2 chainsaw rolls. Only 2, which is telling.
The lizards? Well, the lizards have a chainsaw?
Well, they induced a chainsaw.
Yeah, but I don't know what's the chainsaw player that lizards get.
Oh, they get helmet, I think.
Do they?
Yes, I mean, I know lizards get a chainsaw. I don't know which one it is, but I've used it before.
Oh, it's so rare that people actually take chainsaws, especially lizards, because they have other good players to take.
Yeah, I mean, I've never taken it. I don't remember why I took it in the first place.
It is helmet, yeah.
But I don't.
It's helmet is the chainsaw they get, yeah. But yeah, so he had a chainsaw. He probably also had Slively, but I mean, Tessa's Chaos team was like 2,100 and Rolling Red's like 1,200 or something. So there would have been a lot of inducements for him to take. But like, a Chaos team like that is the bane of lizards everywhere. So it's pretty unsurprising, honestly. Just a lot of Claw Mighty Blow, a lot of guard, a lot of strength. Not only can you like try to remove the Armor 9 Saurus, but you can match up against them really well and stop them from bullying you. And Minotaur helps a lot that way too. The Skinks are pretty weak to Beastmen, who need 1 assist to get a 3-die on a blitz. Like, so it's Chaos or at high TVs will just destroy lizard teams, and it looks like that's what happens.
I think Chaos are even better than Nurgle because the Chaos are also pretty fast.
Yeah, I think Chaos are better than Nurgle at dealing with lizards. I mean, I think Chaos are better than Nurgle in general, other than like very specific matchups
against each other.
Yeah, that's probably the one time that I think it.
Nurgle are better against elves. I think a lot of the time. I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag.
I don't know if that's true.
We won't get into that too much, but Fear and Bloating versus the Greenskin Brawlers. I would look at stats, but they're probably going to be really like you'd have to look at stats like over 1,800 TV or something like that for the Nurgle, because below that they just get like utterly.
Yeah, like there's the argument to be made about like disturbing presence for passes and stuff, but then elves just don't have to pass if they run away, and you're so much slower as Nurgle than Chaos are that the elves can just run away, and then there can be that problem. So like, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword, I guess. But what did we predict for this one? This was Nurgle versus Orcs. We predicted the Nurgle.
And yeah, they did.
I'm interested in...
Only getting 7 breaks.
Against 17?
Yeah, so the Orcs actually beat the shit out of the Nurgle, but they lost somehow? Like some
I don't understand. How did the Nurgle win 3-1 while getting out armor broken and out removed and out blocked?
I mean, some shit, probably. I don't see a wizard.
5 casualties sustained. What's the regen like?
Regen was terrible, actually. Yeah, terrible. They made 100% of their GFIs. They dodged like elves. They caught all the time. They pick up all the time. So they did all their agi stuff really well.
Oh, they have the really good ball carrier who's probably just like running through and scoring while the that the Orcs couldn't stop, while they just beat the rest of the players to death. And I
mean, I guess, but that's bizarre. There must have been some weird turnovers, though. So there is a failed pickup. There's 2 failed pickups out of 3, which means something bad happened there, probably. This looks like some shit went wrong.
I have no idea what happened here, but I'm kind of interested to know. Yeah, some pretty bad pickups for the Orcs might explain some of it. The Nurgles could take advantage of that. The bribe failure is kind of funny, too. That probably didn't help.
I had that happen, but only in Imperium. I've never had it happen in a real game.
Oh, I've had just about everything happen in a real game. I wish I want to bother like Major Bite or somebody and see if they can pull out every wizard I've ever used and see what my rate is, because I'm like super convinced that I've failed more lightning bolts than I've made. Like I'm anecdotally, at least, I know there's definitely a lot of confirmation bias there because you only remember the bad ones. But like I'm fairly confident that I've rolled more ones on lightning bolts than anything else.
So then we have Charlestown Chiefs versus the Rowdy Rebel Rousers. I picked the Lizards to win. I don't know why I picked the Lizards to win. Lizards got the shit kicked out of them. 3 deaths, 10 Kaz sustained, 5 KOs sustained. Steer, I assume, has no team left. MVP on the AV busted Saurus.
10 casualties.
Jesus Christ!
What the fuck?
I had a game like that. 10 Kaz sustained.
I'm. Have I played them yet? Because I'm kind of happy.
It was technically actually 11 because I appoed something and he got Kaz'd again, and it only counts. It doesn't count Kaz's that get appoed.
Oh, I see. I don't think I've played either of the Lizard teams yet, and with what other teams have done to them, I'm pretty happy about that. Because hopefully it'll be easier for me.
Like a game where nothing fucking worked, and they just got the crap kicked out of them. Jesus.
19 blocks succeeded. Like, they barely made any, like, almost slightly more than 1 block per turn. 2 casualties, like, total. Let's see. KOs are pretty...
Ben, you were actually perfect other than
me.
The game where you...
Yep. Oh, that's good. That's a lot of points then. I'll take that.
Only up by 1 because of the one you were wrong on. So you won both of our contentious picks other than the one you were involved with. So you won 2 out of 3. So you're
I thought you meant perfect as in I've gotten all of them.
I mean, you did.
Oh, but you got some of them as well. So yeah, I see.
I got almost all of them as well. Anyway,
that's.
And we have
quite
you.
A game. Yeah.
You beat some Dorfs.
Yeah, I didn't expect to
even
win.
though they kind of punched you.
Not initially.
Oh, they sustained a bunch of cows. Were you fouling, or was that just failed dodges?
There was a bit of both. My favorite bit about
this... and you failed all the regens.
Yep. The dead Nurgle warrior who got MVP and leveled is my favorite part about this.
Nice.
So, no, what happened was I thought I was pretty disadvantaged going into this one because I was missing my palm piece. I was missing my good guard to Nurgle warrior. The only other guard I had was double niggled and was likely to just go out quickly. But I went on offense first, which was what I was praying for, to see if I could get some removals, get an early advantage. First half went incredibly well, and I was just removing dwarves like they didn't exist. And then the second half, like, turned around completely, and I ended up with, or like by the end of the first half, I guess, it turned around completely, and I ended up starting half number 2 with 5 players on the field.
Nice. He rolled more POWs than pushes, it must be said.
Yeah. And then there was my Beast of Nurgle got injured, failed the regen, and is now double niggled. So there are now 2 double niggled players on my team.
Nice.
So then I did a decent job, I think, in trying to slow Ragedorf down on their drive, and then it got to like the last 4 turns, and it was this weird, insane sequence of him like breaking a potato free, and then me potatoing a blitzing a threat to knock him down, and then like picking up the ball, and then him potatoing somebody to blitz my ball carrier, and then I potatoed someone else to blitz his ball carrier, and there were like 4 knockdowns like back and forth like that, and then he failed a GFI trying to score one time, and then I picked up the ball, and then he blitzed me again, and it went out of bounds and like flew off to the space. But like the last 4 turns were this insane sequence of nonsense on both sides. It was very entertaining, and like both me and Unseen Walker were in chat for it, like on my stream, just chatting about it and just like laughing our asses off the whole time. It was super entertaining, but it was a weird fucking game, and I wasn't it was like really even if you look at the stats, like 38 blocks, 37 blocks, like it was pretty weird, but it was very entertaining. I didn't notice his more POWs than pushes things. Not that it really matters against my team, but
I mean, his block dice were very good.
Yeah,
to say the least.
It was very weird, but super entertaining, and I'm surprised I won it. Like, I had an incredibly lucky like first 6 turns, and it still almost wasn't good enough to like eke out a win or a tie. Like, I thought this was going to be a tie, but he happened to fail a GFI. So like my first half was super lucky, and it still almost wasn't good enough. That's how much I thought I was disadvantaged going into this. And yeah, so it was quite a thing. Anyway.
And then we have Scooby and the gang and Archangel's Will. We predicted the Necro would win, and it was a tie. Mm-hmm. So our only tie of the week. MVP to the rookie ghoul isn't bad. MVP to a loner lineman is terrible because he's trying to buy positional, so he did not buy the loner. Nope. But when your team is 90% loners, of course you're going to lose most of your MVPs.
That's very true, yeah.
Equal blocks, surprisingly enough. And in fact, Archangel beating the shit out of him with 6 KOs inflicted, 1 injury.
Necro getting beaten up by Wood Elves with 5 players is...
I mean, I know that feel, except Necro replaced with Chaos.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Scooby and the gang, dodging terribly, regenning well, but there's only 1. He only threw 1 GFI against Elves. That's kind of interesting. Failed 2 pickups, which is probably not a good sign.
The Elves made exactly 1 pickup, which is interesting. Like, it was never available for them to get again. They only tried it once, and like probably on their drive, I would assume. That's kind of weird. The
block dice for the Necro, it must be said, were pretty terrible. They only pushed 34 pushes to 7 POWs is a thing. Archangel's Will had pretty average block dice, and then their D6.
My guess is this
Oh,
was a failed 2-1 grind for the Necro, or potentially like a succeeded counter for the elves.
Yeah, it's also a game where like the Wood Elves dodged like gods. Like they just never failed dodges, which is a big deal.
In the Imperium game I played, we were talking about this earlier. I just have to throw this out there as well. My opponent failed 0 dodges. They made like 28 and failed 0. It was a thing. Anyway, continue.
I mean, I told you about the clan game I had against Metal where he threw 22 GFIs and failed 0.
Yeah. But the GFIs are always 2s. Some of those dodges were 4s. Anyway, so yeah, this looks like it was, the elves probably scored early if they went first. Then the Necro tied it in the first half, and then we go to the Necro drive, and the elves managed to defend it, but not enough to pick it up, kind of thing, is likely. It's something along those lines that may have happened in the second half instead of the first, but a 1-1 tie where one team managed to fail to convert the 2-1 grind, and because of the armor breaks, my assumption is that it's the Necro that failed to convert it.
Oh, I'll throw it to you after a second.
Okay, well, while you grab that, I will take a look at the leaderboard. It's worth noting that Cheese and Fugmire Fenbeast have played, so it's not going to affect the table results too much. If Cheese had wanted, he'd be up here, but keep in mind that some of this movement is still going to happen. Up at the top, Tessa is beginning to pull away with his 4-1-1 record, 1 win ahead of anybody else. But Atomex has got no losses, 3 wins, 3 draws. He'll probably extend that to 4 wins this week, I would imagine, against myself. Scooby and the gang, Fear and Bloating, both 3-2. I'm 3-1. ArchExcel is 3-0. Cheese is 3-0. So there's a lot of teams that are 1 win behind the leader right now. And even then, some teams that are only 1 point behind the leader with 2 draws, namely Travel Scrabble and Red Joker. So it's, we're halfway through the season, and we've still got a really tight div, but that's what happens in Div 1. On week 3 or 4, we were talking about how close this was, but it's still close. And like that pack hasn't really separated very much. Tessa's starting to peel away, and then Professor Chaos, Agrain, Steer starting to follow. Jimmy Burrito, we're starting to fall off a little bit, but it's still all within 1 or 2 wins, which is super doable. Rage Dorf with the very pleasing 1-2-3 record, and Fogmire Fenbeast not doing so well right now with 1-1-5, but they did grab that one in this week, which is certainly fun. Well done to Rolling Red for that. I saw he's got a pretty good attitude in Discord too about how his season is going, so I appreciate that, having a good time it seems, and still being a very sporting fellow. So Justin is not returned, but the next step will be to look at teams and see how these things are going. So we will wait a minute for him to return, perhaps, or shall we just jump into things? Let's jump into things, I guess. He should be back soon. So we can look at Cheese Tactics Mark II here, coached by Strategic Cheese. Baby Swiss is MNG'd, still not dead. He took another injury this game, but he's still not dead. Just got a miss next game to go along with his double niggles. Troll, Thick Skull, that's not new. His next game's gonna be a little rough. Out Baby Swiss, we're out the Thrower, which is a movement bust, I think. He's not worth keeping. He's a rookie thrower with a movement bust. He's dead. There's no reason to keep that thrower. Then we've got the 4 Black Orcs, who are still roughly the same. Looks like Sharp Cheddar 6 has gotten blocked relatively recently. I don't know if that's... he just hasn't gained much SPP lately, or if that's new, but having the full complement of block Black Orcs is certainly nice. This guy started with Guard, but he's only an MVP away from block, so that's pretty handy. Canadian Cheddar, also out for the next game. Pretty important piece.
He's in Hawaii for a couple of days, so I'm having a few bachelor days and leaning into it really hard.
That's fair.
Did you look at the leaderboard?
I did. So, that's a pretty important piece for Cheese, and he's going to be out that next game as well. But he does still have Gruyere spelt incorrectly as a Legend Blitzer. You don't need 2, right?
Yeah, he got pretty brutalized in his game against Rolling.
It seems that way. Nothing new, really, for levels, it seems, other than this pending lineman level, which, I mean, I guess is probably just going to be like Wrestle or something, because I imagine he's just going to be on the line a lot. Maybe kick. If he's dirty player, you're probably not going to want him on the line on defense, but I don't know. That depends.
I don't think you can afford it.
I don't think so either.
I think he has to take wrestle, yeah.
I think it's probably wrestle, and I think that thrower is fired now, as he is a rookie thrower with a movement bust. But Canadian Cheddar and Cheese and Baby Swiss will be back. No more perms on them, just missing games. But the next game is going to be a bit rough without that Goblin. No thrower, missing one of the Blitzers. He's going to be pretty exposed in terms of he's not going to have much in the way of expendable players. He's, I suppose he'll have some loners, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He'll have 2 loner line orcs, so that's actually not terrible, because he has Colby Jack as well. But so no extra perm.
Colby Jack with 7.
Yeah, no extra perms other than the thrower, but no terrible loss there. Arch Excel and not an anime sports team. Probably not Megaloblox is new, and that's because still not Megaloblox box is dead. And Totes Not Girls in Panzer is relatively new, but not like new this week. Because I remember there was a different Girls in Panzer that was larger than a rookie. Yeah, 2 rookie blitzers is annoying, but they're not terrible to level up. You know, their elves are movement 7. However, high elves often soak up SPP on their catchers more than anything else, so people will often recommend, you know, try to level the blitzers early. So he's gonna have to do a little bit of focusing on trying to level those blitzers specifically, I think, and that might be a distraction.
Though he also needs catcher levels. Like,
that's true.
Probably not Keijo and Helf Kaduin both need a level up.
And they're
like,
very
one
close.
Needs block and one needs tap.
They're 4 SPPO each, so you know, a touchdown and a Kaz, which isn't super difficult considering they're both Mighty Blow and they're also both catchers. This team is it's quite a bit less terrifying than it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it's still a good elf team. It's just not as terrifying as it was. We've still got absolutely not air gear. He's a really good thrower. Initiate Ozianus is still pretty good as well with the Blodge Step guard. But there aren't the terrifying blitzers anymore, sadly. But still a good elf team, just not as good as it once was. Past its glory days.
Yeah, but you need a few unfair players, and that blitzer was incredibly unfair. So
that's true.
It is a big loss for sure.
Thick, Rich, and Creamy, Jimothy Burrito.
Has survived because of his 100% Kaz recovery rate.
Yeah.
Took with his team entirely.
6 Kaz last game and regened all of them.
Yep. I mean, still looking really good. He's getting close to legend on El Padrecito. You probably just get dodge, maybe sidestep, but I'd probably go dodge.
Yeah, I would take dodge in case you get like push on the frenzies and you want a chance to get away.
He's 1 SVP away from leveling LT Monterey Jack, the rapidly approaching Flesh Golem stats, white.
I thought it was a Flesh Golem. No, that's a white.
I know.
Okay.
He probably just gets tackle, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need a 3rd tackle. I wouldn't hate... I mean, you're kind of out of good skills at that point.
You could go grab.
You could get break tackle for that edgy 3 dodge.
Well, that's the thing, right? He's movement 5 and edgy 2. He's not likely to like dodge out to try to blitz a thing. He's kind of been relegated into 3rd Flesh Golem status with like block, guard, stand firm, dodge. Like, it might not be terrible to take like grab just so that you can make those like extra Mighty Blow hits, but make sure people still stay in place amongst your Flesh Golem army. It might not be terrible.
Yeah, grab's not bad, but I think tackle is probably what you do here.
Yeah, you're not going to get as much use out of it as the werewolves, but at least you have it on the werewolves for the actual blitzing actions. Whereas the tackle on him is just going to be to make sure you knock down that player that you're already based against.
Or for marking in general, like blodge firm tackle is annoying, right?
That is true. Probably not Provolone, very close to leveling. We'll get block, although that first block skill is so annoying because it's very, very scary to block on a blockless player when you have other options available. Moldy Blue is brand new, it seems. His good ghoul is no longer with us. There was a much better ball carrying ghoul than a rookie, and he is dead. So there's a different one now, and he's a rookie. But, you know, he'll get block and sure hands and all that kind of good stuff. Another white who's just got guard. He'll probably also want to go the Mighty Blow tackle route. And then guard zombie, kick zombie, dirty player zombie. They're zombies. Who really cares? but they're also the block guard one is really nice to have. It's a good bonus.
Yeah, totally. Block makes him a lot harder to remove, so he's a pretty durable piece to have around.
Yeah, and the extra guard on a Necro team is never at a loss, or on an undead team.
Our friend base are back up to 1640 TV. They're not doing.
No, they're recovering surprisingly well despite losing several lizards.
Yeah, they're still down a Saurus. They can buy a new one. I don't know if you do. I think you do. But yeah, still has 4 very developed Saurus.
Yeah, and the plus armor minus armor is always going to be a meme to me. And the 2 dodge first Sauruses are hilarious, but they're leveled now. Yeah, Lord Wheeze of the Juice, new Saurus, has nothing.
And a sneaky get skink.
Thanks, I hate it.
Oh, Rolling Red.
You know, we made fun of Rolling Red like seasons ago for all the Frenzy Saurus. But, like, you know, he made it work and just play it in a different way. That's not terrible. A sneaky get skink? Like, are you doing this just to make me mad now? Like, is that what this is about, Rolling Red? Please confess. Please. Like, mathematically, sneaky get is a terrible skill. There's, like, approximately 1 player it's good on, like, numerically. And surprisingly, that's a Dark Elf. But it's not... You're never going to see Dark Elf teams dedicating their time to fouling. Like, if you do the math about, like, the TV of the player you're using to try to keep on the field, and the number of times it works, and all that kind of nonsense, it's almost never worth it to have it on anybody. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, if you're having fun, you're having fun. But yeah, sneaky get is a thing.
Fear and Bloating, the Red Joker. Still a terrifying Nurgle team.
Yep. I wish I had a terrifying Nurgle team.
Looks like 2 heads on Gishmagor is new.
yep,
78.
and Claw, perhaps, on Gurfagor.
Claw on Gurfagor. Not the best killer with those skill sets, but not terrible. I mean, certainly you don't pass up Mobile Claw Mighty Blow, which he now has. Brash Gores is going to go the Claw Palm route, I would guess.
Absolutely, no reason not to.
Then he's got a tackle piece for hitting dodge pieces. And he's got 4 Rotters. I mean, this is a perfectly good Nurgle team. What more could you want, right? You'd want block maybe on your Beast of Nurgle, like a guard on Tholo Rotma, but
yeah,
he'll have it soon. He's 3 SPP away from
and guard on Tholo Rotma. You want Brash Gores to be Claw Palm, and then I don't know if you still have extra money, another Rotter, just because you might as well embrace the bloat at that point. The Beast of Nurgle getting block would be incredible, but you know that's a tall ask, and he's always away from it. But yeah, like this is it's just such a good team. This is what I would love my Nurgle team to look like this.
You know, 1390 TV is actually higher than I thought Steer would be.
I don't think I don't want anything close to. No, there's not much new besides those 2 things that I think we talked about there. Yeah, 1390 is, you know, I would have expected lower. There's still a there's still a Bloxigor. Step 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 of the 6 Saurus. One of them is armor busted and a rookie. And the other one and one of them is a rookie. But we do have 3 block guard Saurus. Like the 3 Saurus he does have around are still really good. The Niggled one is a little unfortunate. But the 3 he still has around are nice. Just unfortunate that, you know, 2 of them are rookies and 1 of them doesn't exist. The Agi 5 sprint Surefeet Skink is still going to be super annoying. He is movement busted, which makes him a little bit less annoying, but he's still very annoying. And yeah, you get exactly 2 skinks, and they're both very good. You know, almost a natural 1-turner skink, not quite. Need another movement.
He's strength busted, which is super awkward, but
yeah, especially with the team not having much of a bench right now. Like you're gonna, and other than inducements, you have to field him because you're gonna have 11 players. And really, in a perfect world, he rolls plus movement again and then just sits off the field until you have to 1-turn. But you're always going to have to field him, and he's always going to be a huge target with Strength 1. Anything... I don't know if there's much in the way of, like, actual new skills. I don't think so. There's a lot fewer skills, because there's a lot fewer players, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, at least the 2 of the 3 deaths seem to have been skinks, so...
Yeah, that's true.
That's something.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Probably want to retire Jake Hansen, though, and you can't currently afford to buy even 1 Saurus, and you need to buy 2, so...
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
In a rough spot. some Mercsaurus on the horizon for him.
Me.
You. 1740, so small.
Well, that's because my Beast of Nurgle is MNG'd, because he got a second niggle in my game against Dorf. And
I look forward to his inevitable
HI Victory Bell the third now exists because HI Victory Bell the second finally leveled up in the last game and then died promptly.
You know, I never... First of all, I always read it as High Victory Bell, and I was like, that's a weird one. And now, why is the I not capitalized? It's an acronym.
That's a good point. Because, I don't know, I wasn't thinking of it. I'm only capitalizing the first letter of each thing, right? Like, it's the capital N for Nido and then capital K for kidney disease. I don't know.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I think in this case it is actively confusing.
Yeah, it should have been HIV. It should be a capital I.
Fire him and buy him again.
Well, I can't. I've been trying.
The Warriors are 110k. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're super. This is why Nurgle are bad. Like, they're super expensive. I've been trying to save up to replace Nido kidney disease for about 4 games. 5 games maybe, like slightly more than the entire season, because he's a double niggled Nurgle warrior, and whose job is to stand next to players because he's guard, right? Like, so he just gets removed, and then I don't have guard, and it's really hard to do anything with him. And I've been trying to replace him forever, but I had that game where I lost all 3 Rotters, and I had to buy some, so I went down to no money. Then my rookie Nurgle warrior died, so I had to buy a new Nurgle warrior, and I'm just like, this team is trying its absolute best to make me not want to play it next season. Like, I'm pretty sure the players on this team are just like, why are you still playing me? Please, like, we're just gonna do dumb things to make you, like, not want us anymore. But I will keep playing it, damn it. This is my team. Ugh.
Are you ever gonna just retire and pick a new team?
Once this team... Well, I had to... It's
true.
Well, one of the... Killer Kowalski is a Pokemon. And Unseen Walker was in chat when I lost all 3 Rotters on the line, and then like was cheering me on when I somehow still managed to win that game. So I let him name the 2 Rotters that I bought, which were Unseen Walker and I Win Games. So that's what happened there. No, I'll retire this team if it ever like becomes functionally unplayable. Like, if it lost, like, if next game I lost Nido kidney disease and bubonic plague and then like muscular dystrophy, I'd probably just, like, you know, next season it'd be over. But as long as there's like a reasonable chance with like a couple good players, I'll keep playing it. I've played this team since college. I don't want to give it up, really. It's like, I don't know, stubborn nostalgia more than like anything else. And, you know, I'm not a super competitive Blood Bowl player. I play this for fun. So as long as I'm having fun with this team and like the nostalgia element is a big part of that, then I'll keep playing it, you know?
Fair enough, nerd.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff it needs. It's not in good shape, and it's gonna go up against Atomex's Nurgle, who are gonna make me very sad this week.
All right, so every time I open Travel Scrabble's team, I have to figure out whether he's actually missing anything, and the answer is no.
Okay, 1 white, 2 whites.
Oh no, he's missing his super. Oh, his super ghoul died.
Both
yes?
super ghouls in this division no longer exist.
Yeah, he lost his super ghoul, it looks like.
Okay, well, let's take this from the top, I guess. Top Cat is getting close to legend. He'll
get Stanford.
Probably. That seems like a good option.
Nah, I mean, like 100%.
Yeah, I would say Stanford.
Minor 49er probably gets guard. You could technically do piling.
I'd consider piling on. You don't have a Mighty Blow piling on anywhere.
It's only got 3 guard, though, and this is a real bash division.
That's true, but I guess it depends. If you're about to go up against... Like, look at when he levels, look at what matches you have left. If they're mostly bash, take guard. If they're mostly, like, the other Necro or the Elf teams or whatever, you could take piling on. Flesh Golem hasn't leveled. The Werewolf is also getting close to legend. Like 30 SVP is close these days. But he is a terrifying player. And that Agi 5 Wolf is such like a thing that you have to always keep your eye on when you're playing this team, because Movement 8 Agi 5 can do some dumb things. And we have John Cutesack, the Flesh Golem, who is still a bit away from leveling for a Flesh Golem. He's gonna pray for doubles for dodge, I guess, because he's got the Mighty Blow guard block grab set. He could probably take tackle if he doesn't roll doubles. And then Muttley Jr., the other werewolf. No levels there either, as far as I can tell. Not a whole lot of new things here, other than the replaced ball-carrying ghoul.
Yep, so not a lot new. He's almost got a level in Luna Hex, which will be nice, but
Yeah, sure hands or block.
still a filthy team, but probably block.
Eh.
I don't like the sure hands level thing first on AV7, no regen.
It depends on who you have coming up. Okay, this I don't know if it's like this on your screen too, but there's like an eyeball peeking out from the crotch of the treeman on Archangel's team.
Because of the flag?
Yeah, there's a flag right behind the treeman, and there's just an eyeball between the treeman's legs, like staring right up his shorts.
Yep.
It's kind of creepy.
It's kind of great.
Well, here's the
Ben,
6-player.
Would you like me to give you my headcanon on treeman genitalia?
Is it a twig? Like, I don't know.
Oh, actually, I don't actually have
I would like your headcanon. You've committed to this. Please tell me what your headcanon is.
No, it's actually just baby smooth under there.
Yeah.
Like all the bark goes away. It's like, you know, when you see a statue that's been like rubbed clean.
Oh yeah.
Usually it's someone's genitals. It's like that.
Yeah. Or like a Barbie doll or whatever. Just completely featureless and
like
smooth.
Like a Ken doll. Yeah.
Well, this is the 6-player 1100 elf team. Savari is MNG'd for the next game. Is that just in? Nope, that's the armor bust on Savari. Savari is now armor 6.
All right. Yeah, he got armor busted last game, so one step closer to that inevitable dirt nap.
Oh, that's such a tempting thing to just punch. Oh my god, it's armor 6.
Yep.
Oh,
Other than
boy.
that, has all of his positionals that he's had in a while at least.
This is the biggest we've seen his team in a while. It's 6 players, not 5.
Yeah, it's true. 1100 TV because Savari, the 170k lino, is down.
That's the perfect team for rule of 5. Yeah, well, you only have 5 players. I guess that makes sense.
One of them is a tree, though, so you're probably not protecting.
I think he's counting
You really
Savari
need to-
as one of the players to protect.
Oh,
yeah.
it's true. It's true.
But yeah, he who catches unseen still around. Adrastea is still around. No change there really. Dead Wish or no, Fleur de Lis is the new one. Yeah, Dead Wish was around last game, just didn't really get anything.
Why is he Fleur de Lis? Why? Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not Fleur de Lis, it's Lycée.
He speaks French, so I assume he's doing something there.
Like some sort of pun. Yes, Archangel is very French. He is like sort of small town Quebec French, if I recall correctly.
I'm too lazy to work out the French joke or the French reference to something.
Yeah,
else.
I don't speak French, so I can't like mentally translate Lycée. So I don't know if there's like a pun there that I'm missing. But that's a new catcher. No other new levels. But I mean, as long as this team has Savari and he who catches unseen, stuff can happen. Although in the next game, we're not going to have Savari. So it's all on you, he who catches unseen and Adrastea. But he's slowly building up his positionals and slowly starting to get them some levels. He almost has 2 leveled War Dancers. And that'll be a scary time when Archangel is back up to actually having 2 War Dancers. Yeah, for Elise joke perhaps.
If it was going to be for Elise, you probably would have done it without the accent because the accent makes a very different sound. That's like Fleur de Lys instead of if it was just an E, it'd be Fleur de Lys. So that would be a little bit closer.
No, it's a Fleur de Lis. Is it not?
I mean, Tessa is Quebecois, so that's a should know.
No, that's true.
but maybe-
Is it the name of the flag rather than the name of the flower?
Well, because like Fleur de Lis just
Is the flower
like,
symbol.
Lily, flower blue lily. Yeah.
Is the white flower
So-
symbol, but if Fleur de Lis is the actual name of the flag, then that would make sense. Like, you know, there's a maple leaf on the Canadian flag, but it's not called maple leaf, it's called whatever the flag is called.
All right. Here we go.
Ragedorf. It's getting back up there. I mean, he's replaced a lot of players, and he's starting to get that complement of guard. Hellsdorf is get very close to a level which he'd love to have because his current runner is the defensive runner and he doesn't really have an offensive one. So we'd love to get like block and that sort of thing on kickoff return on Hellsdorf to get going there. Yeah, exactly, Tessa. That's what I thought then. Yeah, the Fleur de Lis is the name of the flower, and then
It's possible that because it's usually still just stylized as Fleur de Lis, so it could just be like stylized different in English.
Perhaps. En anglais. Furiousdorf is still like kind of the big boy of this team, but nothing.
It's the only.
Well, Swiftdorf exists.
Well, I mean, I guess Swiftdorf still exists. Yeah, that's not a lot new though. The Furious Dwarf already had guard. He's close to Altdorf getting Mighty Blow or Stand Firm. I could see an argument for either. Stand Firm is obviously really nice in your Strength 4 guard piece, but also you want him to hit stuff. You don't have a lot of Mighty Blow on this team.
No, yeah, I think I would go Stand Firm personally, but I guess it depends on if he feels like he needs more Mighty Blow or not. But it's certainly getting there. I mean, he didn't take that much damage in his game versus me, certainly, and he's up to 5 guard now. You know, he'd like to be at like 10 or something, but 5 is way better than where he was at the start of the season. We have the Rowdy Rebel Rousers, Atomex, the team that I play this week, and is going to make me very sad. Sandoon, the Nurgle Warrior, has reached legend. So he has a skill to pick up there. He's currently Block, Mighty Blow, Claw, Tackle, Piling On. If you're going straight Killer Pestigore route, the next option would be either Juggernaut or Pro. I don't know if that's what you want to do on a Nurgle Warrior, because you're not really going to be blitzing super far very often with Movement 4. But he is piling on, so you might want to consider, if it's a double, you take Jump Up and then be happy. Might want to consider just Guard, but like Guard and piling on is a weird combination. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever put piling on a warrior. I know some people are super about it, some people are super not about it. But I think Guard, Pro, Juggernaut are all potentials. If that's a double, he would love it, so that he could grab Jump Up. Yeah, it's the symbol versus the flag, and I didn't know the flag had a name, but I knew the symbol had a flag, or a symbol had a name.
I'm sure I knew and have subsequently forgotten. It turns out flag knowledge is not something I tend to retain.
I mean, I know some things about flags, I just don't know their names.
Yes, you would. Again,
Vexillology.
Like
You're welcome.
Yeah. Sandoon desperately wants a double for a legend, but I'm guessing he hasn't taken it yet.
It's probably Juggernaut.
I don't know. I haven't seen him talking about it. I mean, I would actually.
If he's taken piling on,
Jug's on a movement 4 play piece though. I'd be more tempted to take guard. Honestly,
yeah,
I know it's stupid on a. Yeah, but he's movement 4. I know he doesn't have another piling on piece, but
he's already piling.
I mean, I guess Jugs isn't.
He's dedicated to the killer route with Sandoon. I think you keep going. Like, you can't half-ass it. Don't half-ass 2 things. Whole-ass 1 thing. And with...
Yeah, but what insane person is going to leave a wrestle piece within 4 spaces of sand?
Well, it's not about that. It's about if you can also use it to shift stand firm players. You can turn both downs into pushes if you really want to.
You're committing your blitz though is the problem.
That's true.
Like, often Sandoon's not going to be the one you want to blitz with because he's going to be basic. It's
also
I guess he probably plays with them like a slow moving customer.
Yeah, and if there's like wrestle pieces on the line, you can just cancel their wrestle and try to get an extra removal out of it or something. I just feel like you should probably go all in on the removal if you've gone removal on him. But anyway, Bird is still Bird. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that player. He's a ways away from...
By losing, probably?
Yep. Lord Farquaad has block. The other Luminous and Horny Cricket are not very close to their legend, but they are, really good Nurgle warriors. Strength 5, block, guard, tentacles, block, claw, mighty blow, tackle, guard is the sort of standard Nurgle warrior route. The last level there would be stand firm.
Yep, so nothing much is new except for Barry Sanders getting dodge, so he's a second dodge Pestigore, which is probably going to get guard, I would imagine.
Yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
Make a support one there. Yeah, you don't see a killer in Incesticide because Orn and Water Closet died. But yeah, like, the reason I don't like Jugs as much is, like, I can deal with killer Strength 4 pieces, but making a killer Blitzer Strength 4 piece that is, like, slow, like in a Chaos Warrior at least it's movement 5, but movement 4 is really bad. I don't know. I'm, like, less into the Blitzer. I'm even less into the Blitzer idea.
It doesn't have to be a Blitzer. It's just to, like, cancel wrestle and stuff.
Giving him Jugs but Jugs only cancels wrestle on the Blitz. It's literally only a Blitz skill.
That's...
Because you're a Juggernaut. You're unstoppable,
true,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah.
Sure feet. There you go. I like Choleric.
Sure feet.
Here for the memes.
Give him sure feet.
Give him thick skull.
Yeah. Professor Chaos.
And we thick skull removal, or thick skull regen, never remove him. Professor Chaos's team is still looking hardy as hell. The 2 Blodge Black Orcs.
So
one of the
healthy.
Blodge is new, actually. He's got a second one. Yeah, I'm a little jealous with how my team is imploded in the past.
I'm like skeptical
games.
with the amount of damage every other team in this division has taken. Like every team has lost like serious players so far,
I mean,
and Professor Chaos
you
is
just
just
watched
fine.
him beat the shit out of a Nurgle team, like utterly destroy a Nurgle team while losing, but still like beat the living hell out of them. Like this is an Orc team that is designed. Unless you like get removals right away, he's just going to slam a wall of Orcs into you, and he's going to have way more guard and way more strength, and he's got a bunch of dodge now. He's hitting critical mass on dodge. He's got like 4. 3 of them are people you're going to see like pressed up against your pieces. Like it's going to be hard to deal with.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, Smash Throat is going to get stand firm unless he rolls a double for dodge. Break Eds is probably going to get Mighty Blow given his current leveling scheme, but I wouldn't hate even stand firm as well there. Just like a total wall of strength 4, block guard, stand firm, some with dodge is just like what do you even do?
My strategy against this team would be pray to go first and then pray that all of the removals work. Because if they don't, you're just screwed. I would hate to play
Congrats, you will have removed 3 linemen and maybe a black orc.
That's good enough. That's a start.
Yeah, I mean it probably is, yeah.
That's the only way I can think of winning against that team. And Tessa, speaking of French people and French things. Let's see.
MNG'd on his AV busted Chaos Warrior. I'm kind of curious if it was the AV bust what did it. And when I had an AV busted Saurus, I would always keep a count of how many times it was the AV bust that made him get removed.
If it was just the AV bust, would it not be just say AV bust and wouldn't also say miss next game? Like I think that's an extra miss next game injury.
No, it is. Yeah. No. What I'm talking about is I'm wondering if it was the AV bust that got him removed. Like
oh, I see. Yeah.
Someone rolled an 8 or a 9 instead. Something like that.
And then there's another AV busted Chaos Warrior, but he's okay for now. Newton, the Beastman, the standard Claw Mighty Blow piling on tackle. Looks like we've got Wrestle now on Vanderwalls.
Yeah, which is good. He's going for, just probably another line piece with Vanderwalls because he's already got a pretty good sacker.
Yeah, I think he's...
again, it's a really fair Chaos team. Kind of reminiscent of mine.
And made my
what
team
it's really
very,
just
very
lacking,
sad, though.
Yeah, it's a very good Chaos team. Fair Chaos teams are very good. They don't need craziness. Like, doubles on some players are nice, but not necessary.
But there was some craziness in that game.
Where he just literally pitch cleared you and you could do nothing, yes.
So
he's got 3 to 4 line fodder, which is perfect. He's got a dirty player, which I like. He's missing a support beast, like another guard, the 5th guard. Oh, no, he's got the Mino, so he's actually got 5
Let me
guard.
counter any argument you have with look at Darwin. What a hero. Look at this guy.
I know. Claw, tense, block, stand firm, guard. It's the biggest big guy I've seen in a while. 93 SPP is a lot.
Yeah, he's a big guy with a reasonable chance of reaching legend, which I don't think I've seen in like a really long time.
I don't know. Minos die. Yeah, I was gonna say Red Joker. I like your team. I like your play. But Red Joker should most of the time kick the shit out of you. He's your team, but bigger and with a bunch of built-in skills that are really good against chaos, like regen.
Man, look at this big hefty meat boy though.
He's killer and you're down a chaos warrior. Yeah, that's gonna be a really, really, really tough.
Look at this big hefty meaty boy though.
He's great. Yes,
he's my favorite. I like Darwin. And then we have the Bad Apples and A-Grain. Well, there's still a crazy amount of dodge on this team. It's a team. Look at this. I mean, Raj, Blodge, block with no dodge. How strange. But he's also got Mighty Blow and plus Agi, so I guess that can be a pass. Blodge, Raj, dodge, Raj, dodge. Rookie. Ambrosia. What an idiot. Look at this lineman down here without dodge. The stupid lineman.
He can only field 10 dodge players now, though, so...
Oh, that's true.
It's not even a real team. He lost one of the Witch Elves. He can replace those, so then he can technically field...
He can field 11 dodge players.
Dodge players.
Oh, man. This Witch Elf has got Wrestle.
He's playing Wood Elves, actually. That's going to be really good against Archangel's team.
Yep. He's got...
The Archangel out-elfs him pretty
He's
hard.
got Wrestle on Granny Smith now. this Blitzer is now Blodge. I don't know if that was before, but he's only at 6 SPP, so I assume. The guard lineman has also picked up Dodge, which is great. He's going to be super annoying once he also gets block. Like Blodge guard will be super annoying. So many like Blodge potentials here. I mean, this team shows you why Dark Elves are just like good and very often used in like tabletop and tournament settings and stuff, is because you can do stuff like this, just like a boatload of Blodge and no one can really deal with it when it's like res and you're not like worried about, you know, losing players and that kind of stuff. You just take Dodge everywhere and suddenly you're really hard to knock over and bully around and stuff.
Yeah, the elves with AV8 linemen are the ones with like that would stand the most to lose from this MVP change, I think, because like even their linemen are like credible pieces to invest in because they tend to be fairly sturdy and have good stat blocks to make good positionals, like pseudo positionals. We were talking about that a bit in the rookie Discord today about like the change, like the fact that the MVP changes, like where you get to pick top 3 and then it goes to one of them, like really favors bash teams, but also like just like is a pretty significant disadvantage to elf teams who already like enjoyed more or less the random MVP.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or at least they enjoy it more than, you know, lizards getting MVPs.
Hey, my Nurgle warrior that died got MVP. Great. Oh, my Rodder got MVP. Wonderful. Like, yeah, it's...
Yeah.
So if I could, I'd just choose a Nurgle warrior or the Beast of Nurgle to get MVP every day, all day. Pretty
much. All right, so let's do some predictions. You're losing me in an hour and 15 minutes, so we do have to hustle a little bit, but
okay. Bad Apples versus Archangel's Will. I mean, the Bad Apples team looks incredible. Archangel has no tackle, but Archangel can also elf so hard in this matchup.
He's down his big sacker though, which is
true.
Not insignificant in this matchup.
I think that sacker is going to make a big difference. I think Bad Apples probably because of the Blodge everywhere and the no sacker.
Yeah, so both sides have a tackle mighty blow. Archangel's is strength 4, which is really nice. Agrain is 1760. He could even buy a Witch Elf, though I don't think I would buy a rookie Witch Elf for this match. Probably not. 1760 with a bench of 1, and the Wood Elves have... I'm just pulling it up on Rebel.net because I don't like math.
I like math. I don't like arithmetic, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. They're going to be 15-20 in the next match?
Yes, 15-20. So they get 240k.
Yeah, so a wizard and then, 90k on top of that?
Wizard and and double babe, or wizard double, or wizard and an Apo. Wizard bribe, technically, but I wouldn't do it.
I mean, I like the Bad Apples still. I mean, Archangel is going to, like, out-elf the Bad Apples pretty seriously, but there's so much Blodge. I think it's going to be hard to like, for the Archangel to, like, actually remove players without, or, like...
Yeah, I mean, Agrain can basically just aggressively... So this is kind of like this matchup is going to be a lot like Lizards versus Rats with a Claw Mighty Blow Blitzer, where, like, you just have to kind of commit and base up. And, like, yeah, you're going to get hit by Adrastia with one of your players, but only one of the players, and the rest of them are going to be rolling for POWs. And with loners that are, you know, almost as likely to 1 in 9 as they are to roll POW. So you're just going to pray that, you know, he basically fails himself to death or tries to dodge out and eats up his rerolls, or, like, dodges out on loners, things like that.
This will be super interesting to watch.
He's got a lot more reliability. Like, Agrain's team is so reliable, like, and Archangel's team is not at all reliable, but it's a much better elf
like
team.
Very solid dark elf team, like super reliable, versus like really crazy variance high elf team. Both elf teams, one being the Super Bowl season 10 champion and one being the Super Bowl season 11 champion.
It's a good
this
game.
Is going to be super.
We should watch it next week.
Yeah, we should maybe. It should be super interesting.
Except I'll be in Hawaii. You should watch it with whoever you replace.
Yeah, if anybody wants to hop on the show, feel free to let me know. If not, I can easily get a replacement from the rando recapper group of folks. But I'd rather try to get somebody who's like invested in the division first. If anybody from the audience is interested in joining me for a week. Anyway, Scooby and the Gang versus Ragedorf.
Scooby and the Gang.
Yep. I mean, I hate to put it that bluntly, but Ragedorf hasn't quite recovered well enough, I don't think, to deal with the monstrosity that is Travel Scrabbles, like Agi 5, high movement. We don't have like the removal or guard potential. There's not that much guard on Travel Scrabble's team really, but I don't think that's really gonna matter. On offense, like he's not really gonna be stoppable. And on defense, all he has to do is slow down the dwarfs a little bit, and then he'll probably be able to outscore them without too much difficulty. So that feels Necro to me. Well, I predicted Atomex. Moving on.
Yeah, I've honestly already written it down, and I've actually predicted the next one too. Orcs beat those lizards. I think pretty sound.
Yeah.
He has a crazy good bash orc team, which is exactly what lizards are worst at fighting, other than Claw Mighty Blow. So,
Yep. Yeah, like Atomex is just
then we have
team. The lizards are in a bad space. Yeah.
Yeah. And Professor Chaos's team is disgusting.
Yeah. More worthy of discussion.
Red Joker
is this one.
Yes. So I think we talked about it a bit in chat already. This Nurgle team has 5 guard to 2 Thessa's 4 for the next game. It beats him, or no, they're identical in strength. Thessa is aggressively outkilled. Thessa will have a wizard, I think, maybe even a bit more than a wizard, but Thessa is evenly benched, I think.
I suppose I haven't.
But one of the team, no, Thessa is down 1 player, so he's only got 12. Yes, so he's at 1960, only has 12 versus 2180, so he gets 220k. He can do like a wizard and an Apo, maybe I would consider, or a wizard and. I mean, you could go real heavy and go for a bribe, but that's you're praying to high roll at that stage. You do have a dirty player, but I don't
Speaking
know.
of inducements,
honestly, that's like. So
I can take Lord Borak versus Atomex, but I don't think that's I don't think that's worth it. But I do get 300. I get 290k versus him. I think.
that's pretty good.
It's I've never asked this before, but. Considering we both pronounce your name a different way, do you prefer like the hard H or the soft H with Tessa or Thessa? I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong if you have a particularly preferred way.
So there is no TH sound in French. There's no hard H. Like the doesn't exist.
So it should be Tessa,
we were
then,
doing
not Thessa?
Yeah, Tessa. Yeah, it should be Tessa.
Okay.
When we were in French immersion, the teachers could tell if we were speaking French or English out in the hallways by looking at us through the windows and looking for us making the TH like teeth biting together noise. Because yeah, it doesn't exist.
Languages are weird. I found out very recently that about 50% of people make the sort of R, like the hard R American sound, by putting their tongue up against their front teeth, and half of them point it down against their bottom teeth, and it's like pretty even to make the R sound. Some people put it up, and some or the S sound as well, like S versus S. Like I can't do the bottom one because I don't do it, but the S.
Yeah, I do S top, R bottom.
Yeah, and it's different for a lot of people. Anyway,
because they're Ponzi bastards. That's why I like Spanish a lot, because they actually pronounce everything and they always pronounce it consistently.
My favorite part about Spanish is the R versus the rolled R. You know exactly which one it is because the rolled R is 2 R's and the regular R is 1 R. Like it's perfect. It's great. That's like so satisfying. It's just like you make the longer R sound when there are more than 1 R. It's perfect. Anyway.
Yeah, so sorry, Tessa. I was like, I know which one is right, and then I went and said your name wrong again. The Red Joker's probably going to win that. I think it's like 60-40 unless... yeah. And because having a double R at the start of a word would look really weird.
That's true. Yeah, I think this is like traditionally sort of like Nurgle are kind of relatively good against Chaos because they've got like the regen and the foul appearance. There's a lot of guard. There's the Claw Mighty Blow that exists. The crazy Sacker is pretty good.
And Tessa's down a Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably where you're looking at. So like, yeah, I don't mind the some kind of a.
My guess is like 60-40 Nurgle here. So I'll back the Nurgle for the purposes of the game.
Yeah. If you had your Chaos Warrior, it would be a closer game. But even in like an even matchup between Chaos and Nurgle, there's so much that needs to go wrong for the Nurgle. Like they basically have to have bad foul appearance rolls and bad regen rolls for you to come out on top.
Finally, we have Thick, Rich, and Creamy versus Not an Anime Sports Team.
Your mic fucked up, so you're doing the very white thing. No. You have to sing for us first.
Want me to sing?
No, Ben. No.
Did it fix? I don't know what you want me to do.
I can't hear you. So Discord broke.
Is it Discord that broke? It is Discord that broke. Excellent. Hello? There we go.
Hello. Yes.
Am I still deep or is it fine?
All right. Later, Tessa. I know you're fine.
Okay.
Which is a shame. I wanted you to sing, but that's
Thick,
fine.
Rich, and Creamy, not an anime sports team. I think I like the elves for this one. I mean, they're still elves, regardless. They don't have as crazy
They
players,
don't have their
but,
soccer,
but
though.
they do have the really good line.
So the biggest thing... Yeah, but the thing was that this team really liked its soccer, and Travel Scrabble just lost his ball carrier. So the weakness of his Nurgle team was definitely that like he was weak
Necro.
to elves with sackers, and now there isn't one. So there's no leap
Yeah,
threat.
but there's a wizard.
So there is probably a wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he gets one extra player. High elf linemen are what,
70.
70k?
So that's 1650.
1650 versus 1940, so 300 or 290k.
1790? Not. It's the wrong. That was the wrong Necro team. So he'd have to scum to get a wizard, but not very much.
This is Thick, Rich, and
Yeah.
Creamy. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of
Travel Scrabble.
I think Thick, Rich, and Creamy also lost a.
They did. They both did.
There's still a Claw, Mighty Blow, Palm, Wolf, and there's really good elf killers, especially high elf killers. So that's
that's
going to
true.
be a challenge with a lot of guards. It's going to be based up a lot. All right, if you want to go high elves, I will go
Sure.
Necro because we do not have a contention.
That makes sense. Well, let's grab a contentious one. We have to go to Div 2 now.
Why did you say it like that?
As I was trying to finish my beverage, so a second one can be fetched for me.
Ah.
Hey, Div 2 hasn't played any games yet. Let's get through this quick before they do.
My booze fetcher is in the tropics, so
Rebel Cheese Thieves versus Luis Juano's Nurgle.
this had already been played, so we did not predict
But it was 2-2.
But it was a tie, yeah. MVP going to the somehow still alive plus strength lineman, getting him much closer to block and to a rotter, which is garbage. Lewis finally not getting a super removal game with 22 armor breaks on 44 blocks, but only 6 removals.
Breaking armor 50% of the time. My favorite part about that is that the rats got 2 armor breaks. So Luis literally got
20 blocks.
10 times as many armor breaks as the rats did.
Yeah, the rat armor not holding up, though you wouldn't expect it to hold
No,
up.
not really.
And the armor of the Nurgle holding up incredibly well. They made 22 armor rolls and failed 3 of them. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But there was a lightning bolt that worked. There were...
Let me put this game into context. Lightning bolt that worked, natural 1-turner.
Yeah. Rats 1-2-0. Or Rats tied 2-2. So Rats got utterly annihilated except for the time they stole the ball and probably scored. And the time they won.
And the time. Yeah.
Then Nurgle scored twice.
It's just Nurgle score, rats 1 turn. Nurgle score, rats 1 turn. Like, enjoy.
Yep. Delf versus Orcs. We predicted the Orcs would win, and the Dark Elves took it.
Damn. And that was because the Dark Elves they're missing a bunch of their speed. So we thought it was going to be harder for them, but they did manage to take it down. 8 armor breaks versus 3. The Elves sustaining 3 KOs, 2 casualties. The Orcs sustaining nothing. The KOs.
Yeah, the
50%.
Elves, it looks like the Elves had... No, the Elves actually had, like, pretty expected
I feel
armor.
like the Elves' dodges weren't
even-
great.
They were not if they were mostly agi, or if they were mostly 2+. If they were 3+, then might if a lot of them were 3+, then it might be average.
It's just a weird dice spread, right? Like 41 ones, 16 twos, and then everything else is like average. It's just like, let's take half of the 2s you should have rolled and turn them into 1s, which is kind of like, normally that doesn't matter for a team, but for an elf team that does matter. Because, 1s are what matter for your elf team. But I feel like a lot of those ones were like on armor and stuff, because we don't see like a whole lot of terrible failures here. Like all the catches worked. 50% pickups might explain some of that too. The Orcs having a very favorable Orc game in that you don't roll very many d6s and most of them are armor.
Well, they did lose, so I wouldn't call it a favorable Orc
That's
game.
true, but there were a lot of GF. Most of those were GFIs. That's interesting. 3 pickups and
Yeah,
that
that's
worked.
what I'd expect. Yeah.
The Orcs like picked up the ball.
0 pass, 0 catch though. So
I'm like, so the Orcs got the ball, the Dark Elf sacked it. The Orcs got the ball, the Dark Elf sacked it. The Orcs got the ball, the Dark Elf sacked it because I never scored, but they picked it up 3 times. Although there might be also be like, you know, turn 8, turn 16 pickup type things as well.
I like Vanity Pass.
Or like they never got around to it, but they didn't have a chance to go anywhere.
Necro versus Chorf. We predicted the Necro would win, but it was a tie, 0-0. MVP going to a dirty player zombie and a plus movement hobgoblin, plus movement sure hands hobgoblin. So exactly where you want the MVP to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tons of blocks on both sides. The Necro got a lot of removals actually. 5 Kaz on 10 breaks is pretty good. Less so for the Chorfs, who got 15 armor breaks but only got 5 removals off the back of that. So
I like the asymmetry.
Not
again.
amazing.
31%, 40 blocks, 38 blocks. I mean, 5 injuries versus 4 KOs and 1 injury, but you know, you can't have everything you want.
Yeah. Regen failing the one time it was rolled. Yeah, armor not really holding up for the Forsaken Awoken.
Lightning Bolt worked.
They did get a lot of Kaz, though. Lightning Bolt did work, which maybe is why it ended 0-0.
Probably part of it, anyway.
Yep. A lot of failed dodges for the Contract Killers. Chorfs couldn't dodge to save their
Surprise.
life. Not that you'd expect them to be able to. But yeah, kind of a weird game.
0-0. You don't see very often.
Abysmal Cusp, Nurgle versus High Elves. We predicted the game had already been played. No, we predicted the High Elves would win, and they did.
Surprise. I mean, crazy speedy, like ludicrous elves versus Nurgle.
Ludicrous speed.
The elves will win. I mean, they have a natural 1-turner. They just run away from the Nurgle, and then the Nurgle are sad. Ex-wife getting the MVP and being now 3 SPP, a touchdown away from a level.
He is plus movement. He can make it. Loner lineman getting level is unfortunate, but they beat the shit out of each other. It must be said.
Yeah.
Like, Fellows Codadol did not go down without a fight, out blocking the Nurgle and nearly out removing them.
They did deserve the loner MVP, but I mean, like, a natural 1-turner elf team versus a Nurgle is like, you just lose. There's nothing you can do as Nurgle. Like, enjoy the loss. You can try by putting Stink in along the line, but I mean, most of the time that just makes it a 2+ or 3+ catch instead of a 2+. It's not necessarily terribly difficult.
Yeah. Tough game for the Nurgle to win for sure.
Yeah.
And then Horn Stars, you basically just have to remove them off the pitch.
And we didn't remove enough.
Horn Stars versus Bioware for Life. I predicted the Vamps, you predicted the Chaos, and the Chaos did in fact win.
Yay.
So this is your
This
week.
is my week. This is a moment. Wow, that was Football Manager theme music. That just went through my head. Yeah.
Necro, or the, 19 armor breaks on 28 blocks. Vamps just got pitch cleared.
7 injuries inflicted,
Vamps were,
9 casualties, and 8 KOs sustained by the vampires.
Vamps were 2k before, so it's got a MNG on their strength up vamp. It's got a movement bust on their strength up guard vamp. Sorry, it has suddenly started pouring. I might need to go check on the windows.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesus, this is a vamp team that just got. I mean, this vamp team has gotten the same treatment that my Stasis Orc team got versus me.
Look like week, look at these dice. Like, so the vampires, I think, rolled more of any individual number than the Chaos rolled d6 total. Like 4, 4, 7, 6, 5, 2, 32, 26, 33, 20. Like, I mean, obviously the vamps have to roll a lot of dice because, like, you know, bloodlust and all that kind of nonsense. But like, there was 4 pickup attempts, 7 armor rolls, 4 injury rolls, a lightning bolt that failed, and 1 GFI. The entire game for my Nemo. Like, this was just in the bag for him the whole time. This would have been a terrible game for the vampires, and it probably felt pretty awful. 0% regen. Failed all three of the regen attempts. I mean, bloodlusts are about what you expect, certainly. 44% on KOs, but that's just one off of average. But, like, man, the vampires had a very sad game, it seems, in terms of what the Chaos did to them. I mean, they rolled, like, single-digit number of block dice, whereas the Chaos, did Chaos things. Like, oof. Big oof. Alright. And what did we... Oh, yeah, we talked about the prediction there. I win. I win the prediction. Haha. Then we had The Lackland Longtongues versus Rebel Rage Quit. We predicted that the Lizards would win this, and they did. 3-0. 15 armor breaks, 20 armor breaks. This definitely looks like an Orabi game. Let's see. Only 3 casualties sustained. Like, Orabi actually got damaged more than the Lizards did here. But it's not terribly surprising, I think, with what we talked about last time. With the lack of, like... There's a little bit less guard than a normal Chorf team would have, so it's going to be harder for them to get the good claw mighty blow blocks he wants in there. So the Lizards bullying the Chorfs a little bit, getting the casualties and removals. And Orabi, let's see, KOs. Ooh, bad recovery for KOs for Orabi. So he's probably just down players for a lot of the game. And when your team is built around bullying the opponent, and you just get bullied, you probably don't have much of a hope.
Who is this?
Lackland Longtongues and Rebel Rage Quit. We predicted the Lizards, and they won 3-0. It was Orabi, when I'm saying that it looks like he got bullied around quite hard by the Lizards, and when your team is built around bullying other teams and you get bullied instead, you just don't have any other backup plans. So he got kind of face shoved into the dirt, suffered more Kaz and KOs than the Lizards did, and then had terrible KO rolls. So
that'll do it. And then we have Nurgle versus the Bratz. We predicted the Nurgle would win, and it was a tie. 0-0.
10 armor breaks, 1 expulsion, 37%, 37%, 40 blocks, 47 blocks, 2 injuries, 4 KOs, 3 KOs. Looks like a very even game, roughly.
Yeah. Nurgle just couldn't get the numbers advantage they needed to win. Battle Brothers somehow couldn't score. Maybe some Nurgle foul appearance. A lot
of failed tentacles. Tentacles look like it did work this game.
Yeah.
2 bribes working for for the Battle Brothers, so a lot of stomping happening, and having to use both of them. Failed both of their KOs, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility. Just a little sad if you're the Bretts.
Battle Brothers having great block dice, Grungy Desserts having fairly average block dice, so that might have something to do with it
as well. Yeah.
Regen working more often than it didn't. KOs working very often, so the Nurgle didn't stay out, which is probably why
another failed lightning bolt. It seems like the Wizards Guild didn't get paid this week, because that's like
most of the bolts have worked.
There's been 3 failed lightning bolts in the reviews so far, and I failed a lightning bolt yesterday. So like my mind is just
This review, there's been 3. No, most of them worked.
I thought there were
almost all of them. I haven't seen any other fail.
There was at least one other failure. I guarantee you there was another failure somewhere, but I'm not going back through all of the things. To find it. So failed lightning bolt, bad tentacles, but good block dice, even removals. The Nurgle were probably never in a position where they could score, but they were in a position where they could stop their opponents from scoring, which is a pretty typical Nurgle thing, which is why Nurgle, tie a lot. They're very good, like, kind of defensively. They can stop people from scoring, but sometimes it's very hard for them to score themselves, so I feel like that's exactly what happened here. After all of these, we go to the leaderboard. This is what it looks like. We have no games played yet. Nothing happened during that, so this is the leaderboard as it is. The tentacles were good, but also Nurgle. Yeah, there you go. That explains it. And Orabi was also missing blockers going into the game. Yeah, I remember that. Stouticus out front with 4-2-0 with his Nurgle, not for science, and fell with Squadadal. Only behind by 1 point with 1 loss instead of a draw there. And then we have Luis, Urs, and Holes all on 3 wins, so only 1 win behind the leaders. And Moneybags 2 wins but 4 draws, so he's basically 1 win behind the leaders as well with that many draws. So still pretty tight, not as tight as Div 1, but there's a lot of teams that are within striking distance of playoffs. Cleric, Queen Elizabeth, Sir Kodiak, only 2 wins off, which means they're sort of 1 win off the big pack, so they could come back certainly. But Bernie, My Nemo, Jericho, Dire Sick Fish, and Orabi are starting to fall a little bit behind here. Never over. Well, it's not over yet, but it's starting to look not great for playoff chances for those folks. Prediction times.
So I will start teams. I'm probably going to have to do teams, don't we?
Oh, yes, we have to do teams. Duh.
I will have to leave probably somewhere between teams and predictions, but that's okay. Not for science. Fell with Codadal is looking the same. Yeah.
Natural one turner still exists. We're 4 SPP away from a level on the Blitzer.
Dodge on this Russell movement busted guard leap lineman might be.
Yeah, but they're
This guard is new. I think so. He's got 2 guard. He's very punchy for elves. It must be
well,
said.
there's a reason why he keeps getting a lot of removals in his games. It seems. We're always surprised every week at how many blocks he does and how many removals he gets. But like, we shouldn't be with the guard and the mighty blow and stuff that are lying around.
And high elves are very punchy. Yeah, and rod set knife is he's a strength 5 frenzy piece, so God knows he can punch you wherever you want to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrifying elf team, but like every player on the team is injured in some way. So it's limping along, but doing very well. I mean, the Agi 3 is kind of annoying, but it's still Agi 3. The armor 7 is kind of annoying, but you're not used to having armor 7 players. Like, none of it is really niggles, right? And that's kind of the scariest thing to have. One lineman
AB busts
is,
are
but
pretty
who cares?
bad. The Agi busts are bad. But then in much worse town, Dire Sickfish's Bioware for Life got a bit of a drubbing, taking a movement bust on a blodge strength up vampire, guard vampire, which is pretty bad. Vampires are pretty slow. It is the guard piece, so it's not someone you really need to be all that fast, really. And you've got another strength up piece that's only an MNG, thankfully, but his next game is going to be rough.
Only 3 Vamps going into his next game, because he's got 460k worth of vampires sitting the next one out, which is certainly an issue. But he'll get a lot of inducements, and you can wizard, you can get the really fancy vampire. What's his face? But yeah, you'll have to play the inducement game next. But being out, 2 vampires, 460k is never handy. Luther von Drakenborg or whatever. And a couple thralls also missing, but that doesn't matter as much because you'll fill it out with loners. But you as a vampire player, you really want a huge bench, because thralls are pretty easy to remove, especially since you remove them yourself, and you need them to be like the pillars for your vampires to do stuff. So his next game might be a little sad, but it's not like he's lost anything. He's no deaths or anything that matter. The only thing that's bad really is the movement bust on the vamp. Do we have any levels? I don't think so. Another wrestle thrall maybe. I think that's probably the only thing that's relatively new. Pending level on this thrall, dirty player, wrestle, fend, something like that. Maybe block. He's still got his ball carrying thrall as well, and he's totally fine, which is good news for this team. Then we have Orabi. He has most of his Chorfs back. He was missing a couple for that last game. It looks like
But he's missing a Robbie for the next game, the heart and soul of the team.
And he also, the End Is Nigh is a new Chorf that he has just picked up, hasn't played a game yet. So he's a replacement Chorf. So his next game, he only has 1 Claw, and it's not even Claw Mighty Blow. So if he's up against a high armor team, that might not go the way he'd like it to, but if he's up against a squishier team, well, Mighty Blow piling on doesn't need Claw when you're armor 7. Or even armor 8 for that matter, really. Let's see. New stuff. I mean, Orabi is now... That's just an MNG. It's not a niggle, right? Yeah, it's just an MNG. I don't think there's anything new lying around here. 1 SPP away from the Dirty Player Wrestle guy leveling up. I don't know what else he'd want. You probably don't want him to level up, honestly. Yeah, not a whole lot to talk about that's changed, I don't think. Jackahole is on his way to Legend. I mean, he's still like 60 away, but on his way. Oh, he has My Nemo. You get to get Orabi'd. Well, I feel like you're going to Orabi him based on these team value differences. Then we have
Probably.
Grungy Desserts and Stouticus.
Biggest team in the league, probably.
I think so 2,300 is very large.
Large and in charge. It's got a fully developed Nurgle warrior, or Beast of Nurgle, I should say. It's got 1 Nurgle warrior that's kind of lagging behind, and then it's got a bunch of pretty good ones. Angry Churro is a great,
Even Flan has got Claw now, I think. Is that new?
Yeah, that looks new. Cannoli As You Are is almost hitting Legend.
And he'll be stand firm at Legend, I would imagine.
Probably, yeah. I think that's it for levels. Nugget Man might be a new dirty player, but who cares? I mean, it's a great Nurgle team. You can see why it's so big. Mostly all the stat ups.
Angry Churro is
and the huge
the
bench.
Warriors are great. And when you're already this high TV, you might as well have a massive bench to just be armor and like more fouls and stuff. Sponge Cake Man's incredible. Yellow Brownie's incredible. Like All Apple Pies is now incredible. A couple playoffs ago, he was an idiot, but he has certainly made up for that nowadays. Donut in a Hole is a movement 8 Pestigore because what Nurgle need is someone to counter their terrible slow speed, and he's made up for that. Like, oof, he would be such an annoying player. Like, you know, Skaven, Elves, a lot of teams will just run away from Nurgle and be like, great, you can't reach me now, enjoy. And then Donut in a Hole comes along and is like, nah, fuck you. I'll reach your potato ball carrier, enjoy. You can even...
Yeah, I'm not sure if he gets tackle or stand firm at Legend, but it's going to be a long way to get there either way. Sure feet would be better first.
I mean, with movement 8, like one turning is not off the table. Like it's still hard with movement 8, but like
it's the Agi 3 that becomes a problem at that point.
But with movement 6, it's like not worth attempting, and with movement 7, it's not worth attempting unless it's gonna like win you the game to do so because it's so hard to do. But with movement 8 is where it starts to actually open up. He's not built for that, so it's still gonna be difficult, but it's an option he has, which is a weird thing for Nurgle. Cleric in the Battle Brothers. Let's see what's Legend. Well, I mean, he was Legend before, right? No, that's got to be new.
Yeah, the strength up is new. I talked about it in Imperium because I was this player needs to be in Imperium.
Right. Hand of Davkul. He's now a Legend player, and he's picked up plus strength.
I think we talked about it last week, but it wasn't technically a...
Oh, yeah, we talked about it last week, but it wasn't a... because he got MVP or something, and we checked it out.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, yeah.
He is now Strength 4, Agi 4. Like, he's Griff.
He's Griff. Yeah, he's just Griff.
Strength 4, Agi 4, Movement 7, Blodge, Step, Sure Hands, Fend. He's Griff. Who doesn't want Griff on their team? Nobody, because Griff is incredible, and now you have him every game. Amazing.
Yep, so what this team has in blitzers, it makes up for in not blockers. It's lost Well-Armored Pimp, it looks like. I don't see him.
He's gone. Looks like Lord Porohai has also gotten Sidestep recently, so that's another Blodge Step, Agi Tackle thrown in there. Like it's a Brett team. Like, Bretts are all about their blitzers, and these are, like, incredible blitzers, so, you know, that's really good. I mean,
like, crazy elf blitzers, but no frontline at all. Like, one guard piece, Witch Hunter in Raj, firm guard is nice, but
I mean that happens to
really
Brett teams though, right? Like, peasants are peasants, they die. Blockers have to do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of like getting in the way, and they have wrestle, like, so they're often on the floor and that kind of thing. And they're not going to be scoring. So all of your SPP goes to blitzers. So you get very tall Brett teams, and this is a very tall Brett team, but it's got so many good levels in the blitzers that's like it's not even a detriment at this point. Like, it's just good. Urs and the Lachlan Longtongues.
Urs.
They
1780 lizards
made some Chorf sad last week.
They did somehow with this team. Dice probably. I mean, he got more blocks probably, and certainly was winning getting the ball and scoring. For those
very few things that Griff has to reroll, you don't have Loner anymore.
Yeah. The Skink, who has played 2 matches, has now gotten plus movement and 12 SPP, which seems nice.
4 more, and he'll get another plus movement, and then he'll get sprint, and then we'll have a natural 1-turner.
Wait, how much of this is... He scored 3 touchdowns, and he inflicted a Kaz? No, he hasn't inflicted a Kaz. How's he at 12?
3 touchdowns last game. He's played 2 games, right?
Yes. 3 touchdowns total.
So the 9. So how do you get 3 SPP? I guess. A Kaz and a Vanity Pass or something.
He's not a Kaz though. He has 0 Kaz inflicted. Is it 3 Vanity Passes? Because it doesn't show catches. No, it does. 0 successful catches.
Well, he's not. No, you have to. You have to make the pass, not the catch. 0 passes. I don't understand. Where did the SPP come from? How do you have 12 SPP and 3 touchdowns?
Oh, a loner TD. Oh, okay. So, right. So when they're loners and you buy them, they become different players.
That makes sense.
Like it's weird.
You get a touchdown as a loner. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. Okay, and then the other skink almost, he's got legend on his mind. He's currently, an Agi 4 skink, sprint, sure feet, all that good nonsense. There's a defensive one with a block, sidestep, diving tackle, which is like super annoying. It's a really annoying skink.
Yep, really good skinks. Saurus are sorely underdeveloped, but the skinks are looking pretty good, and he's got all 6 Saurus back now at least. So that's
which is
nice.
More than some other
Maybe you could pick up a
teams in this
spares.
division can say, or this area can say.
Yeah. I would take another skink at this point, probably. Going up to 12 makes a lot of sense, and you've got the cash to do it and not be much under 150k, so that seems like a good choice. Then we have Minimo's 2320 Chaos team. Oh my god, the kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We just need 1 SPP on that rookie Saurus, by the way, to make him block, and then the team is in really, really good shape.
Vanity Pass. Agi1, Vanity Pass.
Yeah, Claw Mighty Blow, Claw Mighty Blow, Claw Mighty Blow, Claw Mighty Blow piling on, Claw Mighty Blow piling on. That's 5. I think that's...
If any team could out Arabi, it's this one.
Especially since Arabi's next match is going to have exactly 1 Claw. And he's going up against Armor 9, Armor 8.
And it's not the one named Arabi, so...
Yeah, and that Claw doesn't have Mighty Blow. So, like, it's not...
Oh, really? Wow, yeah, that's fucked.
So this is going to be a pretty big one for Minimo. I think it shouldn't be terribly difficult for him to get it. Unless Arabi's, like, Foul Dice or Nuts or something. Let's see. New things? I mean, Dodge, maybe, on Lance Thruster? Or is that not new? Tackle on Worm Crush Spider. Yeah, good.
Claw on Young Sheldon is new. Buster Good is 4 SPP away from Legend, in which case he will probably get Jug.
Yeah, Juggernaut or Pro, maybe, because he does have a Juggernaut
Pro
piling on
the,
one already.
He already has a Juggernaut, so probably Pro.
Although Juggernaut is
Premium
terrible.
700. Yeah, but Chorf inducements are utter garbage. Like, they can get, Grashnak or whatever. They can get the Strength 6 minus.
They have what's this? There's a
3 of them are bribes.
Oh, they're gonna be bribes,
Fair.
yeah. What's his name? Hithark or whatever. There's a pretty good Bull Centaur who's like strength 5 for 330. But I don't remember what else he has.
It's probably triple bribes, a chainsaw, and then nothing else.
Yeah.
Another induced dirty player hobgoblin.
3 SPP away from Richard Rockhard getting something. He's wrestle tackle, maybe strip ball with his movement. But he
Strip frenzy.
could also go like 2 heads.
Could go 2 heads. I might go 2. I'd probably go 2 heads.
Guard Beastman. We've got
2 heads is really nice for what people playing against Chaos will often not do is count the corners you can cut to hit a ball. Yeah. Sometimes they underestimate how
or they'll there's 1 player in the way as the screen. That's going to be good enough because he only has 1 blitz. But if it's only 1 tackle zone to dodge through, 2 heads makes it it's a 2+ now or a 3+.
3+.
Well, I mean, it depends. If it's like the sort of like 2 corners lining up, so you only have to like dodge out and not have to do any sort of dodging in.
Yeah.
A lot of people playing against Chaos or Nurgle will be like, that's good enough. He's not going to try to dodge through to hit me. But you totally will if you have 2 heads. And he has two heads players elsewhere. I mean, he's got Rocky Balboner as ball carrier with 2 heads. He's got Will Pounder with 2 heads. I like 2 heads, but if you look at your upcoming matches and see like no sure hands anywhere, strip ball might not be terrible. But I think I like 2 heads first, because most of the time you're not going to you're not going to cage dive really with him, and if you're in a position where you can like get a hit on the ball without having to dodge, like the wrestle tackle is probably good enough with horns. So I think 2 heads makes you get more opportunities to do that kind of stuff. So I think that's probably better first. Dick Rockhard, yeah.
Abysmal Cusp next. Sir Kodiak has the really nice the ex-wife beast, who, as we mentioned before, is pretty close to level 5.
Just a touchdown.
Just a touchdown. Fresh Nurgle Warrior, unfortunately, has he gotten an MVP, I should say, which is really nice. Played 2 matches and getting an MVP helps a lot, getting them closer to leveling. It's just a touchdown. Probably not a vanity pass, but maybe, or a rando Kaz. 3 Nurgle Warriors, 2 of them are one's a support one, one's a killer with a support leaning with guard. AV busted one's a bit unfortunate. What's new here? So Stand Firm on Bhopal is probably
Movement,
new.
Exploding Social Rupture is wrestle movement now.
Yeah, so again, building these stat freak.
Sacker.
That's pretty minor, but
Well, he'll get.
All the stats do seem to go on Nurgle Pestigore.
Yeah, he'll grab. Well, there's like a couple Strength 5 Nurgle Warriors floating around too. And there's a Movement Beast on this team, in fact. But yeah, he'll get Tackle next, or like, you know, move.
Tackle.
Well, any other stat. But if you don't get a stat, you take Tackle. There's the killer Pestigore who took Juggernaut before piling on, which is not something you always see. Ball Carrier one is good. And a rookie Pestigore is sad, but he'll either be a frenzy piece or a support piece, depending on what you think you need. But he is the flex Pestigore, so he can go a lot of ways. Probably the first thing to do there is just take block, and he can easily be built into either a new ball carrier or a new killer if something happens to one of those. And if nothing happens to one of those, then you can decide what you want, whether it be like a block guard or a block frenzy or something like that. But take block first, and then see if you need him to replace anybody. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we got going on there.
Solid Nurgle team, not as crazy as some of the others, but
better than mine. I think I have by far the worst Nurgle team in the top 2 divs.
Moneybags has gotten block on his new werewolf. That's definitely a new thing. The Flesh Golem has gotten block. I don't know if that's new, but that's cool. And one of the other Flesh Golems has gotten guard recently.
Very good. Nice to have more guard.
Tackle on this strength ghoul is nice. So now he's got a pretty credible like safety sacker thing. Not wrestle, of course, but he's still got vampire stats, and vampire is movement, unfortunately. But sometimes ghouls eat stat busts. That's kind of
he's
the
also
deal.
a pretty reasonable ball carrier if you want, with blodge and strength 4 and agi 4. He's he doesn't have like the tackle doesn't really help that, but if you want to carry it on him, he's hard to knock over, which can be useful if you're just moving up slowly. And then if you want to hand off to a wolf or the other ghoul to like potato, you could do that.
Yep, Asmodean's kick is nice. I like that on that piece because you're never going to put it on the line.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good Necro team. Yep, don't have any claw palm wolves, but it does have the cool leap agi up one.
And one ghoul is 1 SPP from leveling as well, so he can go wrestle, or no, he already has block. He could go, I don't know what he'd go. He could go sidestep or sure hands maybe. Pray for a double and guard would be nice on him. We have Queen Elizabeth, who has taken a little bit more damage since the last time we looked at it. We have I think it's just an MNG. Yep, MNG'd Witch Elf. We have a pending level on Lord Voldemort, who is one of the 2 plus movement blitzers. We did lose the double plus movement blitzer, so what we can pray for here is that blitzer is gets another plus movement and replaces the movement 9 blitzer we had before. If not, I don't know what you take. He's got Blodge Step. You could go Diving Tackle, potentially, if it's not a double or a stat. But guard there would be really nice if you could get a hold of it. Darth Vader, is that relatively new? No, 2 matches, just hasn't managed to get SPP yet. And then the block on Sauron is probably relatively new. Block or Blodge guard. I mean, we've got 3 guard on this team now, which we've had for a bit, I think, but that's still really nice to have. A little bit slower than it was.
Oh, but... Queen Elizabeth is in chat. I don't think I've seen you there before.
Welcome along, Queen Elizabeth.
The sky continues to fall. I might have to close all of my windows.
Yeah, I've never seen them in our chat before, so that's kind of interesting. That's cool. Welcome along. Yeah, so Lord Voldemort is just a normal. Okay. Could go. Queen Elizabeth is thinking Shore Feet. Another options, but
you've got a lot of tackle.
Another option is Diving Tackle, maybe with Blodge Step. They'd be a very annoying piece.
Could go Sure Hands too.
Sure Hands would be a good piece.
Sure Hands on elves is a heavily debated thing.
Sure Hands, Sprint. I think Diving Tackle, maybe. A lot of cool options. Yep. And I don't know what you'd want to take, but I don't really play elves, so perhaps don't listen to me. 3 guard is great. A little less speedy than the team used to be because the movement 9 is dead. But we have replaced that blitzer, and we're gonna have 0 witch elves the next game, which is certainly something to consider because this one is MNG'd. And then we can look at Luis Juano's team. Oh, something that I forgot to mention when we were looking at the actual game results, because I didn't think of it for some reason. But the game between Queen Elizabeth and Holes was super interesting. I saw some like clips of it and stuff, and there was like a galaxy brain chain push from Holes, where he like shoved a black orc like 8 times to get him next to the ball carrier to get a block on the ball carrying dark elf. It was pretty impressive. So that was really cool to see. Would recommend taking a look at that game if you're looking for something to do. If that's the ball carrier, like to be protected. Sure Hands is not terrible. Fend is not terrible. Sprint or Sure Feet would not be terrible if you're just ball carrying on that player. Diving Tackle is definitely more of the defensive thing. Tackle is more of the defensive thing. If that player's ball carrying often, yeah, Fend. Maybe. Sure Hands, Sprint. And then Luis Juano's team.
Sorry, I got really distracted because Unseen Walker just posted to REL 1 that he loves Tacos al Pastor flavored pizza and then posted a photo of it. And I can't decide if it looks amazing or disgusting. And I think the answer is...
I have to go look. Tacos al Pastor are incredible, though. So...
Yes. Pizza tacos al Pastor. It's like, you know.
I like how you like pronounce that in the French way, despite it being a Spanish thing.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, I speak French a lot when I speak Spanish.
That's fair enough. Yeah, the clip that Holes posted in chat is really, really good, so I suggest check it out. Luis's team, Nurgle Warriors, couple tackle now. There's 2 Blodge Guard pieces. One has picked up Stand Firm. Garmulgors is the standard killer Pestigore. Tyro has got block now. That Pestigore has picked up the start of what could be a replacement for something else, or could be a guard or frenzy piece.
Yeah, it's a good looking team. He's 3 SPP away from grab maybe, or break tackle on the Beast of Nurgle. I like grab more than break tackle on them. They're pretty slow.
The cat's being cute on the shelf on the window. People want to look.
That cat is evil. Yeah, it's a good-looking team. Not a lot is new. The Stand Firm is probably new on this Blodge Guard Nurgle Warrior, which is nice. Got one of those myself. They are super solid. Yeah, good-looking Nurgle team. Not a lot else to say about it.
New stuff? I don't know. I mean, there's the full complement of Blitzers. I don't think there's anything new on them.
Oh, this all looks pretty standard. I don't think... I mean, Stand Firm on Dainty Dan might be new.
Little Liam is getting close to he's 6 SPP away from his next level. He is Mighty Blow. So what do we take next? We have a Mighty Blow tackle piling on. We have a guard tackle.
3 tackle. I'd probably go Mighty Blow guard.
Yeah, guard would probably be a good option there.
Could just go for another straight pile on, but
if you're gonna do that, I think I'd probably take tackle first, because if you're gonna like pile on, you want to make sure you knock them over.
We're gonna get 3 tackle though, and like piling on will level him real fast.
Yeah,
so.
But it's
like it would be for like hitting. It's like at that point, it's purely for hitting LOS fodder. He is your LOS fodder killer, and like you don't really care if he gets fouled, and he's armor 9 anyway, so the odds of him getting like fouled out on an LOS is pretty low. You could go Frenzy. I don't like Mighty Blow on Frenzy pieces. It's not bad. It's just like there's so many good strength levels to take for Mighty Blow players in terms of Jugs and Stand Firm. The Strength 4 is going to go Frenzy. Wait, the Strength 4 Blitzer?
Liam is a disappointment.
You're going to go Frenzy on Ditzy David?
Stand Firm Strength 4. Yeah.
I guess you're never going to get Jug, so you're never going to have that sweet Surfer level up.
You could get it at Legend. If you're surfing all the time, though, he's not going to get SPP. But Strength 4 Stand Firm, like it's
the guard is a bit awkward. I mean, and at that point, he's basically an Ulforner. But
I mean, the Strength 4 Stand Firm means he can surf people solo with no assists and then not be counter surfed, unless there's Jugs lying around. So like it's kind of cool.
Jugs.
Unless you got a big old pile of Jugs, then there's nothing you can do about it.
No, I was picturing more like a Link setting, like Legend of Zelda. You know, you walk in and there's just Jugs everywhere, and you're like,
Oh, time to smash these. Yeah, four black orcs. This one has picked up an MVP, so that's really nice because only one SPP until he is actually useful and has block. Angry Angus, we've seen him before. I don't think that's anything new. Dirty Player is probably not new, and we've got Dodge on Tossing.
I went through all the rest.
So.
Nothing else. Contract Killers. Bernie Buffman. You're playing him this week, aren't you? Or someone is on our team.
No, because I'm in Div 1, so...
I was in Clan and we're playing him.
No, not me. I'm playing Trouk.
Oh, I'm playing Mr. Light.
Bernie is L. I think L is playing Bernie. Anyway, so let's see. We've got 5 of the 6 Chorfs that could be around, so we're missing 1. One of them is Piling On is not new, but he's getting close to level, and he probably will get that soon with Strength Piling On Claw Mighty Blow.
Yeah, you'd say so.
He is Niggled though, so that Piling On is terrifying because if there's ever a piece to foul, it's that guy. Another Claw Mighty Blow, 1 guard with a movement bust, 1 SPP from level. He'll probably want Stand Firm to try to counter the movement a little bit, especially since you can't afford to recycle him because you're actually just down to Chorf right now. 2 rookie Chorfs. Man, this rookie Chorf is Niggled, which is terrifying. Like you need to buy 3 new Chorfs and you can't afford any, which is kind of annoying. And we have no bench. We have no extra hobgoblins, which is kind of sad. But Punchbag Bob is sure hands and movement, which is great. He'd love to get like block and dodge and stuff, but that's a ways away. 1 really good blitzing bull centaur, 1 really good like defensive bull centaur with blodge diving tackle, which is kind of fun to see because it's 2 doubles. And they happened first before block. Man, when this guy was dodge diving tackle, that would have been really funny to see. Just like the blockless bull centaur at level 4.
Yeah, he's a weird piece. Very cool. Now he's great.
And the Rebel Cheese Thieves. Jericho Peppers. There are 2 movement 10 gutter runners now because that's what a Skaven team needs. Although he's 5 SPP away from having 2 natural 1-turners, just so everyone's aware. Because 1 isn't enough. Because all he needs is sprint, and he's a natural 1-turner. Or another plus movement. Or no, you can't have 2 plus. You can't be moving 11. So he just needs sprint. 2 movement 10 gutter runners? I mean, like, having a movement 10 gutter runner on your team is not, like, terribly surprising at some point, because there are 4 of them. You know, 1 of them is gonna roll plus movement eventually with, if each of them have gotten 2 levels, that's 8 skill up attempts. And it's what? I don't remember that exact, because probabilities.
It's the odds of rolling a 10.
Yeah, and I'm too lazy to figure that out, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 ways in 36 of rolling that, right? Because you could have 5.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 1 in 6.
Yeah. So it's with 8 attempts, you're likely to get it at least once, but this guy's gotten it twice. Dude. So I mean, that's enough talking about that, but that is terrifying. There's not just 1 movement 10 to contend with, there are 2. Oof.
I don't know if I'd build him into a 1-turner or build him into just a speedier gutter runner, like just give him block next.
Yeah, probably. I mean, movement 10, you could even go like sidestep and just be like, cool, now he's not a natural 1-turner, but I need 1 push. If I really need to try to get a 1-turn, like if something happens to Paneer, it's pretty easy to engineer 1 push out of it, especially if he has like sidestep. So like, it might be worth going, just building a speedier gutter runner, and then he's like a backup almost 1-turner in case something happens. Anyway, Abondance still exists. He's the sacker gutter runner. We have a rookie gutter runner. Mighty Blow Piling On Storm Vermin and a Mighty Blow Storm Vermin. No guard anywhere, which is probably like, I mean, he's praying to get the claw on one of those 2 before he commits to something else.
Until you get a claw, you don't want to commit to guard.
Pretty much. So he's.
I mean, I get it.
I get it too. It's just it's annoying because you want the claw Mighty Blow 1 and you want the guard 1, and until you get both, it's kind of a waiting game.
So the Dauntless is new, the Mighty Blow is new, not much else is, and he's kind of like, it's a very much a rat team that's I mean, not got a lot going on, but it's got what it needs in the sense that it's got a sacker, it's got a great recovery piece in the building, and will be okay. And then Paneer is, of course, your natural one turn that wins you the game every time.
It's got 11 players and a natural one turner and a low enough TV that I can get a wizard. You basically can, at worst, you get a tie unless you get incredibly unlucky on like removals. That's pretty much it. Okay, cool. So now we can do predictions. The Rebel Cheese Thieves versus the Battle Brothers.
Interesting. I think I normally like Bretonnians versus rats. These are rats that are going to have a wizard. There's 2 Mighty Blow tackle pieces that can get some stuff done.
I think, yeah. I mean, I'm going to regret my heart immediately, or like my brain immediately goes to Battle Brothers, but like I think I'm going to regret that when I remember that two one-turners exist. Because they're just going to be able to one turn, and that's the thing. But the Bretts, like, ideally should be able to hurt some rats, and it's going to be hard to get the ball off them. And they have a lot. They can also counter score, movement 7 and like agi 4. They can kind of score them.
So what do you think, Ben? We're very much running at it.
Bretts. I'm going to like be mad at myself next week, but I'm going to pick Bretts.
I'm also going to pick Bretts.
Grungy Desserts and the Lackland Long Tongues. So we've got the very high, very, very high Nurgle TV.
Oh yeah, that's Nurgle. I'm sorry, Urs. That's a terrible matchup for you right now. I mean, you're going to get an extra source, you're going to get Slibbly, you're going to get a wizard. You could totally do things and win this, but most of the time, Stouticus just grinds you into the ground.
Yeah, like high TV Nurgle are a really bad matchup for lizards. Like lizards like Armor 9. Turns out Nurgle also like Armor 9 because they have claw everywhere. So
and dirty player, like they can dirty player foul LOS stuff all day.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
Like you basically are tempted to put lizard. You're basically tempted to put skinks on the line because otherwise you're just going to get your source removed.
And then they remove the skinks and it's a lose. Like, but yeah, I picked the Nurgle. I think it's like a 70-30 probably. Like it's not impossible, but I think it's going to require a little bit of luck or unluck on one side or the other to have it not go Nurgle. Rebel Ragequake and Hornstars. It's a million Claw Mighty Blow versus Chorfs. Chorfs that are missing Chorfs on top of that and are getting like 300 or 400k in inducements.
700k, I think you said.
There you go. 700k in inducements of Chorf versus high TV Chaos. Like I think that's got to be Chaos all the way.
Oh no, it can't be 700k. No, it is 700k.
It's got to be Chaos all the way for me.
Yep. Can't get Claw Mighty Blow from inducements.
You could get one or the other, but not both. BioWare for Life versus Abysmal Cusp. So we've got the Vampires versus Nurgle.
Wait, can you get doubles on Mercs?
No. So I suppose you could only get Mighty Blow.
I was going to say, I don't think you can get doubles.
I forgot that it was a double for some reason, because I guess I play Nurgle. But it's Vampires that are missing 2 of their good Vampires versus Nurgle.
Yeah, it's got to be Nurgle.
Yeah. Which Nurgle is this? Oh, this is Sir Kodiak's Nurgle. So they're a very good Nurgle team. They're not the most terrifying Nurgle team in this division, but there's a bunch of Mighty Blow, there's some Claw, there's a good ball carrier, a good sacker, and the Vampires are missing Vampires. Although the Vampires are going to get a boatload of inducements.
Not that many. These aren't the biggest Nurgle ever. I mean, how many players do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he gets 2 rookies for 80k, so he's at 1460 versus 1980, so 520.
That's a lot. So I mean, Wizard
and some kind of star player, maybe.
The star player that the Vamps get is Count Luthor, who's really, really good.
Does he still have Bloodlust?
He's 390k. I don't know. I'm gonna look this up because I don't remember off the top of my head, and I want to.
I'm gonna keep talking because we don't have any time left. I think the Nurgle. Do you think the Vamps are going to win or not?
I probably think the Nurgle, but I don't think it's as far off as initially thought. He's a strength 5 vampire without Bloodlust. He's block, hypno gaze, regen, sidestep, 549. He's nice. 390k, but yeah, he's really good. Yeah, probably Nurgle. I mean, it sucks, but just missing the vampires are going to be hard. Felwitz, Kawadadal, and the Forsaken Awoken. So that is Moneybags' 2020 Necro versus Not for Science's 2110 Hilds. So 90k.
Not killing Necro versus very good high elves. I think I go
high elves.
High elf.
I think it's pretty close. Like, I think this is like a 55-45 kind of situation. Because the Necro are, like, it's a good Necro team, and there's some good players on it. But, like, and this high elf team, if it gets unlucky, is just gonna crumple. But as long as it doesn't get unlucky, it's got, you know, a natural one-turner, it's got the Mighty Blow Piling On Blitzer, it's got a lot of really good players.
Yep. Contract
Killers versus Welcome to the Dark Side. So this is the Chaos Dwarves and the Dark Elves. This is interesting.
And the Chorfs are pretty battered, I think. Yeah, they've only got one Claw Mighty Blow piling on, one Claw Mighty Blow.
So they're missing a Chorf, but this is not the matchup that they care that much about missing a Chorf, to be fair.
Well, you don't like being down tackle, but you've still got a lot, I suppose.
But like, it'd be way worse if you was done a Chorf against like Chaos or Nurgle or like Dwarves or Orcs or some other like team where you need the strength and the players. Whereas these elves are just gonna run away from him.
Yeah. I think this might be a bit of a tough matchup for Queen Elizabeth.
So
Amusingly, they have the guard advantage, I think. 3 guard versus Burning Buffin's 1. Yeah. Obviously, the strength advantage goes to the Chorfs a little bit, but not actually that much.
It's gonna be hard, and I don't know what to say. Like on like Chorfs aren't great for Dark Elves. Like the Dark Elves are missing a couple things, but they've got enough. Bernie's a really, really good coach. I don't know much about Queen Elizabeth, so I have a hard time making judgments like that. I'm sorry if I don't mean to like say you're not good. I just don't know very much about you, and I do know that Bernie is very, very good. So it's hard to make a prediction that way.
Well, make one anyway. You have 4 more minutes to waffle before I have to leave.
Okay.
Waffle efficiently.
Dark Elves?
I was also going to say the Dark Elves. I'm committing because I'm not playing your game.
Okay. I mean, like, it's basically a coin flip for me. Like, I think it's going to be a very hard match for both sides.
All right. Holes versus Lewis.
Greeny Weenies and keep in there. I mean, I think Nurgle probably. I mean, it's a good. Holes has a good orc team, and he knows how to play orcs, certainly. But it turns out, you know, they're a lot of guard, and they're armor 9. You know what else is guard and armor 9, but also has claw is Luis's Nurgle team.
I'm going to pick Holes because we don't have a contested pick, even though it's going to lose me points. Because I believe that Lewis is owed a dicing.
That's fair. He probably is at this point. I mean, he's got 2 Blodge Guard. He's got a couple Mighty Blow, like Claw Mighty Blow. The Orcs do have a pretty serious like guard advantage, but I think if we can get a player or 2 removed.
If can get player removed.
I said if we can get a player or 2 removed.
No, that's not what you said. You spoke like a Nurgle coach.
But Holes does have a big bench. I don't know.
Hole's got that big bench, though.
He's got that boom boom pow, you know.
Yeah, he's a fat bottom boy,
and makes the Blood Bowl world go round.
Yep. Okay. Now that joke is exhausted.
I don't know. Nurgle. Okay, I'll pick Nurgle, but I don't know. I think those last 2 are really hard, and I don't know what to say. So those could easily go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went either way. But in the name of the game, I got to pick a team. So let's bring up the title screen. We're right on time because Shadorra's got to go shortly. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This has been week 6. We'll be back next week with week 7, and by we I mean me, because Shadorra will not be here. So
I will not.
If you are from REL 1 or 2A and feel like hanging out with me and being on the show for a week at around this time, feel free to let me know, because I'd love to get the perspective of somebody that's in one of the divs to hang out with me while we review a game and talk about some predictions and stuff. If not, no worries, I can find somebody, but if you're interested, feel free to let me know. And the week after that, I won't be there, so because I'm going on a business trip and Shadorra's going on a vacation this week, so like it's at least we're on different weeks, but still it's kind of 2 weeks of not both of us, which is a little sad. But unfortunately, we are both real human beings with real human lives that have to do real human things.
I'm just going to Hawaii. It's not really.
Although you may like, I don't know, It may be hard for me to convince you that I'm a real human person, but I swear I am.
You are for like certain values of human.
That's true.
There's a range where you're humanoid.
Human-esque. Right. So next week we'll be looking at matches as well. So if you think your match is particularly interesting or fun, feel free to let me know, and I will consider it for the viewing next week.
Let me too, and I might pass it on to Ben.
I mean, maybe if you feel like it, you might decide to be helpful for one time. You know.
I don't have. I'm not gonna have data there, so
Yeah, that's fair enough.
only when I'm on the market.
Thanks everybody for watching. Until next time, I've been Steakmittens, and he was Shadorra, but he is gone now. See you later, folks.